A while. Okay, I don't know where to start with this, but a long time ago, back in late 2018, I started the channel Quikachu. I was just a guy who wanted to do random stuff, and I wanted to start making YouTube content because it was a dream, one of the dreams I had going for when I was little. And then I really never had any friends IRL except for a small group. A lot, a lot on my mind was so hard right now. It was super, super difficult as a person, as a living being. And when I went into my first community back in 2019, I felt like I had actual true friends. I've met people such as Rosie the Hedgehog 75, Yanatunes, and so much more. However, one of the people I met that I never really got to meet or talk to a lot was Tiger Max. Tiger Max was always the one in Rosie's group with my good friend Zero the Hedgehog and Rosie. I always saw like chemistry between all of them. They were really great people. And I love those guys. And knowing these people, it was super nice and I felt determined to make stuff for them, to make a lot of things because of them. Tiger Max was possibly one of the people I actually believed he could do really well. I know they were I know they were struggling with life, but I believed in them. I believed they can do great. And that is why it actually shatters my heart to tell you that as of recently, Tiger Max recently took his life, a victim of suicide. Now, I don't sound like I'm crying, but I am extremely devastated. Tiger Max was one of my best friends in that group. Even if I didn't talk to him all that much, he was such a good kid. He was a good friend. He he made everybody he was great. He was such a great guy. And I know it feels out of pocket to talk about someone who I really didn't know all that much, but it felt like I knew him deeply. I felt like I impacted his life in a good way, the same way Max and his friends impacted my life. As of right now, a few minutes ago, I recently just got this news. I am shaky. I'm on edge. I am I'm really sad. I really am. I feel bad for Max's family. I feel bad for Max's friends. I feel bad for everyone entirely who has to hear this news. But I don't think we should cel- celebrate that. No. I want to celebrate Max's life. Max was someone who who was always there. He was one of the people which I knew was with Zero. I I actually knew Max through Rosie actually. Rosie was someone Rosie's a sweet girl. Someone I met nearly how many years has it been? It's 2026 and 2019. So 2021, 22, 23, 24. Almost a decade. Around 6 to 7 years, actually. I knew these guys for so many years, and I didn't even realize what was going on in the background. Um, to Max was someone who was very creative. He was someone who I personally knew as the chill guy. I mean, Zero is also a chill guy, but Max was one of the OG people back then. From I knew him through. I remember sometimes I would occasionally talk to him in the mornings on my way to school. I would remember the he would talk to me about some of his problems, and I would be there to give him as much advice as I can. When when I haven't heard from him, I sort of thought people just came and go. And I really hoped he had a good life out there because I really never had any contact to him. I and especially Rosie. I haven't heard from Rosie in a while, and a while back, Rosie had her own stuff too. But at least she was handling stuff. I wish I could have. I really wish I could help. That was my motivation. People like Rosie, Max, and the rest of that group is the reason why I continue to help people today. Because it reminds me of I was able to how I was able to help those in need. It brings me a sort of comfort that I know that people are going to be okay. No one no one or Max didn't have to suffer like that. He was one of my friends. He no, he was everyone's friend. He was everyone's. And having to see him go after knowing him for a few years actually does hurt. I would have prepared everything much sooner, but I really don't have much. I'd like to ask of you guys if you have someone who is struggling with depression or who is dealing with those type of thoughts, please help them or please reach out to your local hotline. The hotlines will be in the description down below. I really don't know what to say. I I'm gonna need a breather. So give me a second. Okay, I'm back, but I think I got a few more words to say. He really did deeply care about us as much as we deeply cared about him. And I think what could be best right now for me and my friends right now is if we take care of each other, we keep our chin up to move forward. I feel like that's what Max would have wanted. I just so soon. It was too soon, but I hope one day I'll be able to get to meet him again. So long, my friend. Rest in peace.